Episode 6, Sabbatismos in Prophecy, Worship in the New Earth, Isaiah 66, 22-23. Many Christians today are taught that the Sabbath was only for the Jews, or that it ended with the cross. Yet prophecy reveals a shocking truth. Sabbatismos, the literal keeping of the Sabbath, will continue into eternity. The Bible clearly shows that in the new earth, when sin is no more, God's people will still gather every Sabbath to worship Him. In Isaiah 66, 22-23 we read, "For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord." This is a prophecy of the future. After Christ returns, after the final judgment, after the creation of a new heaven and new earth. And what does it say? From one Sabbath to another, all flesh will worship before God. Not just Jews, not just Israelites, all flesh. This destroys the false argument that the Sabbath was temporary or abolished. God Himself declares that the Sabbath will remain forever, as permanent as the new heavens and new earth themselves. Let's pause and reflect. If the Sabbath will be observed for all eternity in the perfect new earth, why would it be abolished now, while sin and rebellion still exist? Why would God require it in Eden, affirm it in His 10 Commandments, and reinstate it in the world made new, but supposedly abolish it only during this short period of human history? The truth is simple and stunning. The Sabbath has never been abolished. It is an eternal sign of loyalty and love toward our Creator. The same Sabbath that Adam and Eve honored in Eden will be honored again in the new earth. The same Sabbath Jesus kept while walking on earth will be kept again by the redeemed in glory. Sabbatismos remains forever. This prophecy in Isaiah 66 aligns perfectly with Hebrews 4:9, which says, "There remaineth therefore a Sabbatismos to the people of God." God's prophetic word and New Testament teaching are in perfect harmony. Sabbatismos is not a temporary shadow or a fading ritual. It is the everlasting rhythm of worship ordained by the Creator. Consider also Revelation 14:7, where the first angel's message calls all the earth to worship Him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. This is a direct reference to the 4th commandment, Exodus 20:8-11, where God identifies Himself as Creator and commands the Sabbath to remember His work. In the final crisis of Earth's history, worship will be the central issue. Who will you worship? Will you follow the commandments of God or the traditions of men? Sunday worship, instituted by human authority, cannot replace the day God sanctified. Isaiah's prophecy warns us, the true worshippers in eternity are Sabbath keepers. Those who ignore Sabbatismos now will find themselves tragically unprepared when Christ returns. When God creates a new heaven and a new earth, He will not honor Sunday traditions. He will honor His Sabbath. The great question is, will you learn Sabbatismos now, when it requires faith and loyalty, or be forced to acknowledge it later, too late to be counted among the faithful? The Sabbath is not about legalism. It's about love, a weekly appointment with the Creator who longs to dwell with His people. From Eden to Sinai to Calvary to the New Jerusalem, the Sabbath remains. Sabbatismos is forever.